to all of you. Today we are meeting for our webinar, and the webinar, before beginning the webinar, I want to speak some about Nocte tribe. The Nocte tribe, an ornamental patrilineal community of Arunachal Pradesh, primarily inhabits the picturesque Tirap district. Their presence is beautifully concentrated in three distinct regions: Namsang, Borduar, and Paniduar, with an exquisite clan system led by the esteemed Lowang. Notably, majority of Nocte tribe embraced Srimanta Sankaradevas Vaishnavism since the 17th century, fostering a deep and resplendent connection with the Assamese society. Their enchanting culture extends beyond the borders of Arunachal Pradesh, with some Nocte people finding homes in Assam, residing in a charming village near Naharkatiya. Amidst their ornate traditions, the Nocte people also revere benevolent deities, and intriguingly, a few even practice the enchanting part of Buddhism. So now I want to invite ICOMOS India Secretary for the welcome speech.
President.
President. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, all right. Sorry for taking time then to join, to speak up. It is always a great pleasure to be seeing all our members, and some who are not yet our members, but who are deeply concerned about heritage, about the past, about the long histories of different parts of our country, about our cultural traditions, living heritage, built heritage, all types of things, because this is something that is continuously under pressure. It is often threatened. Sometimes people feel that modernity does not go with the past. But if we think carefully, we all know, all of us here today know that if our roots are built around us, whatever is around us, that makes us stronger. And that is true for the whole country. Whatever we know of our traditions, whatever we know of our past histories, whatever we know of the religious threads and the spiritual threads and the architecture and people's adaptations and food reflect who we are collectively. And therefore, it is a great pleasure and a privilege for me. It is an honor to be here today speaking to you all. And I'm waiting to hear from you all, because the Northeast has always been bringing facets from the Northeast for the rest of us in the country, and also for bringing in speakers who may not yet be members of ICOMOS India, but they're all concerned about their field of that they're with. And we hope that eventually you will be members. So I know we have an exciting program ahead of us, and I'm welcoming all of you here. I think I have the privilege of welcoming you, but I also have the right of welcoming you. So I'm using both. So I look forward to an enchanting afternoon. Thank you all very much. Good wishes.
Thank you for your welcome speech. Now I invite His Holiness Gajendra Mahanta Bareghar of Sri Sri Bareghar Satra for his speech. His speech, we want to know about Sri Gajendra Mahanta Bareghar Satradhikar. His topic is Nocte Society and Bareghar Satra. Sri Gajen Mahandra is the Satradhikar of Sri Sri Marbil Bareghar Satra, which is popularly known as Pahar Bhoyam Samanya Khetra. He has been leading the Satra since 2010. He is most reformist Satradhikar and very popular among his disciples. There are lakh disciples in his Satra, which are intensely reside in both states of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh.
Arusi, are you play the video number 3 of Gajan Mondo?
Yes.
Srimanta Sankaradeva Manavadabadi Amor Lakshmi Amar Hattor Tiana Hatarikar Srimata Nocte Hamador Murabi Rakumba Dharma Dikikorai. He here of your data, a Buddha Pubakata with the Rishi. Srimata, Tamio, Udalata Hokoluki, Ahoki. Pradagor, Kolwi, অনুভৱ কৰিছিল কেৱল শিক্ষা উভয়া যুদ্ধৰ সকলো বক্তব্য নোৱাৰে মানৱতা প্ৰেম গৰিষ্ঠ সম্বন্ধ আৰু ধৰ্মীয় শিক্ষাৰ আদান প্ৰদানেৰে সমাজ এখন সুসংগঠিত সমাজ প্ৰতিষ্ঠা হৈ পৰিব এনে গভীৰ জীৱনবোধৰ শিক্ষাৰ দ্বাৰা বৃহত্তৰ নক্ত সমাজৰ বালিগ্ৰহৰ লগত সম্বন্ধ ঘটিছিল এতিয়াও এই 4 বছৰীয়া বন্ধ অথবা আশা কৰো এই শিক্ষা আমাৰ বৰ্তমান বৃহত্তৰ বৈষ্ণৱ সমাজে গ্ৰহণ কৰি তাৰ আকাৰে আপোন হাৱা জনাইছে এই আজি এই গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ সভাখনৰ শুভকামনাৰে আমি ইয়াৰ পৰা আপোনাক আশীৰ্বাদ জনাওঁ আমি যত জীৱৰ পালো তোমাৰ পালন হৰি 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 হতি মেতে আবে জীৱন জহিতি বুলি পলাপ হৰি হৰি হতি মেতে তুমি টকা পালা হি যদি আমি হৰি 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 তোমার অতীত হয়ে কে নাই প্রভু হরি 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 সত্যন্ত তোমার বড় বিষয় মানে আমি হরি 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 মহা অহংকার আবে যদি পড়ো আমি হরি হরি আমি দুহিয়া রূপকে মা করা আমি দুহিয়া রূপ ক্ষমা করা তোমার আমার voice of your power.
In the vibrant tapestry of human connection, Srimanta Sankaradev's profound ideals came to life through the enchanting legacy of the third patriarch of Bareghar Patra, the illustrious Srimanta. It was under his benevolent guidance that Lotha Khunbao, the esteemed leader of the Nocte community in the picturesque lands of Arunachal Pradesh, embraced the exquisite doctrine of Vaishnavism. This transformative conversion, adorned with spiritual splendor, was nothing short of a masterpiece, an ornamental tribute to the power of human compassion. The divine allure of Patrilineal Srimata's teachings captivated hearts across all spectrums of society, transcending boundaries of royalty and subject. In the gentle embrace of these teachings, it became clear that the eloquence of violence could never match the harmonious symphony of love, the sacred dance of guru-disciple traditions, and the graceful melodies of religious wisdom. The ethereal truth sculpted a mesmerizing connection between our Vaishnava community and the Nocte people, a bond woven meticulously over 4 centuries, standing testament to the enduring beauty of spiritual kinship. As we stand poised in the embrace of the 21st century, let us with a deep reverence carry forth this exquisite legacy bestowed upon us by our ancestors. May our present Vaishnava community, adorned with the wisdom of the ages, find its rightful place in the global mosaic of cultures. With heartfelt prayers, I extend my warmest wishes, whispering to the cosmos, may today's webinar be a success, a splendid celebration of our shared heritage, and the boundless beauty of human connection.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sri Gazen Mahanta Bareghar Satradhikar, and his valuable speech. Now, we invite Dr. Vinita Deora for her speech. And before her speech, we want to know herself. Dr. Vinita Deora, her topic is Origin and Evolution of Nocte Society. Dr. Vinita Deora is serving as an associate professor and the head of the Department of English and the Government College of Bomdila, Arunachal Pradesh. She has researched extensively on the oral narratives and oral literature of the Nocte tribe. She has also contributed immensely in the field of Nocte modern and traditional music. Till now, she has recorded more than 50 songs in Nocte language. She has also presented her research paper on Dain folk songs and music tradition of the Nocte at the foundation of Endangered Languages Conference at Sydney University, Australia. Presently, she is working on the Sherdupfen tribe of West Kameng district of Arunachal Pradesh. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Gitanjali, for the introduction. I am Dr. Vinita, and I will be speaking on the Nocte and one of the very important traditional heritage of the Nocte community, that
Vinita,
springs.
can you present your PPT from your end or from our end?
Yeah, I will be sharing my PPT, sir, now.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Before I start with my topic, I would like to thank Dilip Chankakoti sir and Sanjeev Borkatoki sir for giving me this opportunity to speak on this very beautiful and important tribe of the Northeast region, that is the Noctes of Tirap district of Arunachal Pradesh. And I also would like to make a little here. The title of my paper is The Noctes, Study of Their Salt Springs. So those who are not very familiar with the Nocte tribe, I would like to give a very brief introduction of the Noctes. The Nocte is a major tribe of the northeast region of India, and they are inhabiting the Tirap district of Arunachal Pradesh. And Tirap district shares an international border with Myanmar, a state border with Assam, and a district border with Changlang and Longding districts. Earlier, Tirap district was one of the biggest districts of the state, but in 1987, Tirap was bifurcated to create new Changlang district, and again in 2013, Tirap was once again split to create Longding district. So at present, Tirap district is now inhabited by the Nocte and Tutsa tribes, with a total tribal population of around 55,000 approximately. I am here showing the slide of the Nocte man in traditional attire. This is the traditional costume of the Nocte man, and it's the traditional Nocte girls wearing the traditional attire. So far as their early history and migration is concerned, it is noted that the Noctes migrated from the Hukong Valley of the South Burma region to present habitat. And some of the groups narrate that they had migrated from the Siamese Chinese belt, and the Assam-Myanmar route on the southeastern side bear the proof of their migration to this land of the Nocte. The early history of the district before the advent of the Ahoms is very obscure actually, due to non-availability of written records of that time known about the origin and the courses of the migration leading to the events that took place in the comparatively later times. But later, in the early part of the 13th century, when the Ahoms came from the Burmese valley to the plains of Assam, traversing the Patkai, they came into contact with the tribal people of Tirap. So when we look at the historical chronicles of the Ahoms, known as the Burunjis, and also when we look at the British records, we find some information about the late medieval history of the district, and thus their origin can be traced back to the Hukong Valley in Myanmar, where they migrated from between the 1670 and 1700s. I will be skipping few slides here. This is about the relation of the Nocte with the place people. I will discuss it in my next slide. Actually, the major concern of my paper here is to highlight on one of the very important traditional heritage of the Nocte community, a very ancient tradition, which is the local salt making process. And salt had played a significant role in the history, poetry, and the socio-economic life of the Noctes. We know that during the Ahom rule, in Assam, the locally manufactured salt from the brine springs, the salt springs in the lower hills of the Patkai region, was a much demanded commodity in the entire plains of the northeast. And the Noctes were in possession of numerous springs. We locally call the salt springs Sumphong. Assamese, they call it Nyokung. And these salt springs played a major role in shaping the economy of the tribe and in developing commercial and cultural ties with the people of the plains in the early days. So salt springs were at some important villages like Namsang, Borduar, Laptang, Kaimai, Paniduar, and many other villages. And each salt spring was under the control of the respective chiefs. The villagers could use the salt for domestic use at any point of time without taking prior permission from, but an outsider had to pay some tax to the chief for taking salt from it. However, salt extraction or salt preparation was done collectively. And of course, they had, started growing some commercial cash crop also like tea and coffee. But in the past, salt was the most important commodity. They had close relation with the plains of Assam during the reign of Ahom dynasty, mainly for trading purpose. So they were in an advantageous position. The Noctes were definitely in an advantageous position because of the availability of numerous salt springs in their area. And they used to exchange salt, bamboo articles, ivory, animal skin, and other products for other important items from the plains like the cloth, utensil, poultry, etc. So it is also said that during the reign of Gadadhar Singha in Assam around 1681 to 1696 AD, a major conflict broke out between the Nocte and Ahom sepoys over the possession and manufacturing of the salt from the salt springs. Later on, Gadadhar Singha laid down some reconciliatory policies in a diplomatic manner, and their relationship further developed into friendship and cultural and commercial interaction. This problem of scarcity of salt was over only after the expansion of the Ahom kingdom towards the west, which helped them to open up trade relation with Bengal, and they started importing a huge amount of salt annually from the Bengal region. So as a matter of fact, Tirap was one of the most important sources of salt for the entire Brahmaputra Valley in the past. before actually it was regularly supplied by the merchants of the East India Company through Bengal region. So my objective of this paper was to highlight on, the traditional salt making industry. In this slide, I'm trying to show you one of the very ancient salt wells. It is Moran Salt Spring of Subang. You can see that there is a continuous percolation of brine water, which they collected in a well made of timber. This is a very ancient salt well. This is Kantulia salt well of Laptang. Although it is in a very bad condition now because of lack of maintenance, you can see that a well has been constructed there in the brine spring area. The timber is inserted vertically and the brine water gets deposited there. And from there, they collect the brine water and they take it for manufacturing salt. I will be showing you some slides how they manufacture it. This is the salt well. This is almost in a very bad condition now, but I think you can make out very clearly. This is where the salt water used to be, collected. And this is a very important salt brine spring of, this is the Posum salt well. Posum salt spring of Pulung, and it is said that this was the most important and the major salt springs where the Nocte people used to manufacture salt, and they traded it with the home merchants. This one is the most important one, but you can see the condition. In order to take the photograph, I had to I had to make this area cleaned up like this. It is the mud and the brine water, and this is the salt well here. And in this picture, you can see this member of my team. He is trying to measure the circumference of the well and also the depth of the well. So we now understand that salt was such an important item, not only in their socio-economic life, but it also has a great significance in their religious life. The Noctes, they show great reverence for the salt springs and they attach religious value to it. They believe that the salt springs were the gift of God, and each salt spring was dwelled in by some spirit or some deity called Jojoba or Jok. And the village priest, which in Kapa language we call Chimte Lowang, along with some elder folks, were supposed to be the experts who performed special ritual of appeasing the spirit of the salt well before actually using the salt well for personal consumption or also for marketing. And this is the picture of the village head who is invoking the spirits before going to the salt spring. And I will be skipping this slide also, but interestingly, I just want to add one important point here. A salt spring has been the subject of the Nocte myths and folk tales. And there is a very popular myth that all the salt springs of the Patkai Hills were created by Sumbangcha. Sumbangcha is the salt goddess, and she was the one to create the salt springs in the Patkai Hill. So I had also collected some of the folk tales, which I, because of lack of time, I will not be narrating the folk tales here. And this is the statue of Sumbangcha, the goddess of salt. It was carved in one single stone, and the Noctes claim that this is the figure, this is the statue of goddess Sumbangcha. And some of the elder folks also say that this was probably brought to here by some Ahom merchant in honor of Sumbangcha. And I don't know exactly in what point of time or exactly in which date this statue was brought here, but this is located in an area called Longput. See, this is the brine water percolating at the Wosum spring, which is a small spring, brine spring in a Wasathong village. And this is the Sumchuan salt spring, and they believe that a goddess was buried there, and they still believe that a female, the statue of a female figure is lying half buried on the spot, which I haven't actually gone into the detail of it. And how is the salt well constructed? What are the materials used for the salt well? So certainly they need a lot of bamboo, and they also use timber, rocks, etc., for constructing the salt well. And in this slide, you can see a big bamboo plantation. This is the bamboo plantation of the Kantulia trading point. Kantuli trading point was a very popular trading point at the time, where the merchants from the plains and the Nocte traders used to barter in items, barter salt and other important items from each other. And these bamboo plantation still exist there. Kantuli word actually has been derived from the Assamese language. Kant means shoulder, Tuli means carry. So they say that during those times, the traders used to carry the load of their goods on the shoulder, and that is why this particular place is called Kantulia trading point. And how do they actually manufacture the salt? I will be showing you the steps one by one. It's a very ancient method of preparation of salt. First of all, they construct a very special fireplace for heating the bamboo tube filled with salt water. So these people are here, constructing the fireplace. And now you can see this man who has actually cut the bamboo into tubes, and the brine water will be filled in these tubes for heating and evaporation. They don't actually collect the brine water directly from the spring. They first put it in a vessel so that the dirt particles get sedimented, and after that they collect the salt water and they pour it in the bamboo tubes, which is placed above the fireplace. You can see this, and they lit the fire, and this is the village elder who is now preparing for heating the bamboo, the salt water in the brine water. There is a constant heating process going on, and it's a very long, tedious process actually. Sometimes they had to camp in the forest for week or month to complete the entire process of preparation of salt. And after that, can you see the solid particle of salt has started forming on the bamboo tubes here? So after a constant heating and after the constant evaporation, the solid particle, salt, gradually starts appearing on the bamboo tubes. And these are the people who are continuously feeding and ending the fire so that the heating and evaporation takes place. And this is finally the solidified salt which has already formed on the bamboo tubes. And can you see, this is the man holding the chunk of salt, which will be very neatly scraped off the tube, and they will put it in a bamboo tube or in a leaf tightly for selling it in the market, and they sometimes use it for personal consumption also. So this is I would like to thank Abo Arangham for giving me some of the very important footages to show it in the. And now my concern is, what is the condition of this ancient, heritage of the Noctes, that is the salt wells. So we find that most of the salt wells are in a very bad condition. They are in a deteriorating condition now. And because of the lack of maintenance, and also most of the salt wells are damaged by wild animals like elephants. Elephants are very fond of salt water. They come to the salt well for bathing and also for drinking the water. And also people are not giving much importance to those salt wells now, because the white salt is easily available from the market now. But in the past, the black salt of the Patkai hills were considered as the black gold of the Naga hill. It was so important in the past. Now see, this is the one of the salt wells which is very badly damaged by elephant. It is just not in a good shape now. These are some wells completely destroyed by wild animals. And besides this salt spring also, I just wanted to highlight on some of the very important heritage of the Nocte. Here, this is the picture of a monolith. It is a Senwa monolith. Actually, it is located in, it is a rock structure erected in a village called Senwa. Senwa was in, at that time, it was the undivided Tirap. Right now, it falls under the Lowang district. So it is said that it was erected there somewhere between 1930s and 1940s. And this monolith was erected to honor Namsang. Namsang is a very powerful village of the Nocte. And the Namsang people helped the Senwa people to avoid a British punitive expedition. So in their honor, this monolith was constructed. And this is, again, another interesting heritage, we can say. This is the stone throne. This is the stone sit or the stone throne floral design on it, which was used by the chief of Borduar. And they say that this structure was actually built around 16th to 17th century. This is the stone seat design.
Sorry, ma'am, for the time limitation.
Okay, this is my concluding slide. So my my concern, I just wanted to, my main objective was that this traditional salt making, heritage of the Noctes should be restored. And I think we should also try to find and explore the medicinal utility, because they claim that it's great medicinal value, and government and the community should also make some initiative to preserve the salt wells. And maybe in laboratory, scientists can carry out research on the brine springs about medicinal utility. And when we discuss Nocte culture, we cannot discuss Noctes without discussing the brine springs, the salt springs, which happen to be a very, happen to play a very significant role in history, polity, and socio-economic life of the Noctes. So finally, you can see these are the bamboo tubes in which the women, the village women have filled it up salt water for domestic consumption. Even today, when they're in the interior villages, when they run out of stock of, they still take the salt water from the salt wells for making, dishes at home. So with this, I would like to conclude my, paper here. I hope it has reached to each one of you how important this traditional heritage was, and how necessary it is to restore and preserve this ancient traditional heritage of the Nocte community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vinita ma'am. Thank you for your valuable speech and so many informations about the Nocte tribe. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Wanglin Longwandon for his speech. Before his speech, I want to introduce him. Sri Wanglin Longdong. His topic is Nocte Ahom relations. Sri Wanglin Longdong is the Honorable MLA of Borduar, Borduria Bogapani ST constituency. He is a veteran politician and had been the Speaker of Arunachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly and the Minister of Education. Longdong is also the chief of Borduria village and one of the guardians of the rich Nocte culture and heritage. Please, sir. Right, we are inviting you for your speech.
Play the prayer and then go to the next, invite the principal after prayer. Arusi, please play the prayer.
Is it audible? Yeah, it's audible, but the voice is cracking. Like,
Is it now?
very much.
No, it's done.
Okay, then invite Principal Tasi sir.
Thank you, Ayushi. Now we invite Tashi Fonso, Principal of Bomdila College, for his speech. Before his speech, we want to know about him. Dr. Tashi Fonso, Principal of Bomdila College. He is the Associate Professor in Economics, has more than 18 years of undergraduate level teaching. He is keenly interested in the field of developments economics, agricultural economics, and political economy. At present, he is posted as a principal of Government College, Bomdila, Arunachal Pradesh. Sir, we'd like to invite you for your speech.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you very much. First of all, on behalf of Government College Bomdila, I would like to thank Dilip Chand Kokoti sir for making this institution a part of this wonderful webinar on a equally meaningful and topical, relevant topic, Unfolding Northeast India, a webinar on Nocte tribe and Assamese society. It's personally a great experience to be a part of this. In my brief submission, I would appreciate and underline the fact that the importance of having a dialogue or discussion on our roots has gained much deeper importance in the contemporary time. In development economics, we are exclusively focused on individuals and as an economic agent, and we talk about resources, potential for growth and development, so on and so forth. However, recent events in the Northeast region very much clearly shows that it is not enough. We need to be inclusive. We need to have an inclusive understanding of our own, the transcendental character of our past histories, of how we interacted with one another, and how we evolve as composite societies and individuals. Therefore, such kind of initiatives are relevant to give a sense of maturity in the perception of people in the Northeast, irrespective of themselves as a cultural being, because most of the time the anxiety related to culture or a sense of partial understanding of one's culture leads to a lot of confrontation. This is the part one. Second thing I would like to underline that Arunachal Pradesh has a diverse groups of people historically, and sharing borders with not just Assam but also with Bhutan, China, and Eastern Southeast Asia. So that way, today we are discussing about a tribe or society in the Eastern region, and we are sitting here in the Western region. So similarly, here too, we have a lot of works done already, and fascinating journey to the past, in the past, about our how trade and how material relations, matrimonial relations, and people co-evolved themselves as different tribes with the neighboring places. So in this context, as my colleague Vinita beautifully talked on Nocte tribe, and it's very clear that conflict as well as cooperation was the part and parcel of old societies as well, with respect to the interdependent, evolution of the society or existence. So is the condition in the present as well. Therefore, having a nuanced understanding of our cultural self, having an inclusive understanding of our cultural self, is very, very relevant to the new generation. I'm so happy to be a part of this webinar, and I thank once again Dilip Jankukuti sir and all of President Madam and Secretary Madam, all of you who have made this possible, and for reaching out to us, and we would look forward to more cooperation and participation in the future. And my best wishes to all the participants, particularly the eminent panelists, for throwing light on different aspects of Nocte society in particular. Thank you very much, sir. Madam, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. Now, we would like to invite Gopal Bora sir for his speech. His topic is Assam Arunachal relationship in modern times. Before his speech, I want to introduce him. Sri Gopal Bora is a prominent social worker of his region, particularly in Dibrugarh and Tirap district. He was a cultural activist and associates with Jana Sankritik Parishad since 1988. He involves in Vaishnavism culture of Sri Sri Merville Bareghar Satra, and he works to develop the Nocte Bareghar relations. He is now spokesperson of Bareghar Satra governing body, member of Naharkatiya College, and also an active member of Sachoni Merville Eco-Tourism Project and others. So, sir, we are inviting you for your speech.
Thank you, Gitanjali. Actually, my name is Gulab Bora. Gulab, not Gopal. Assam Arunachal relationships in modern times is my subject. Actually, Vinita ma'am expressed it very fondly, very beautifully. I like to thank all of you. My subject is the Assam Arunachal relationship, especially the Nocte Assamese relationship, has been taking a vital point of discussion among the elite section of both society. Nocte, and Assamese, both society. Now the subject has crossed the regional boundary and gained a national platform. And I think today, through this high-level discussion, it perform a international platform also. Therefore, I express my gratefulness all of you, especially Dr. Sankaradeva sir and Dr. Borkakoti sir, on behalf of Nocte and Assamese society. Actually, it was the time of 2015. Mr. Lowang, a most dynamic minister of Arunachal Assembly, contact us, and he suggested us how to revive the ancient relationship of Nocte and Assamese society, especially the Nocte-Baraghar relationship. We after then went their place along with a cultural team of Baraghar Satra, which were led by Mr. Gajan Mahanta Sattradhikar of Baraghar Satra. This was the beginning. Later on, in this period of time, various religious and cultural programs, seminars, etc. were organized in various places in both states, Assam and Arunachal. In 2018, we met Honorable Governor, former Governor, Mr. P.B. Asadji, and ex-Home Minister, Mr. Lowang of Arunachal Pradesh. They had advised and helped us to tightening the bonding of Nocte-Baraghar relationships. Later, on 2022, in meeting between Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Srimanta Biswa Sharma, and Sattradhikar of Baraghar Satra, Sri Gajan Mahanta, had took place, and Assam government had sanctioned a sum of rupees 2 crores to build up a Namghar complex in Namsang village. On the other hand, Arunachal government had also sanctioned a sum of same amount to construct the Noruttam Cultural and Heritage Center at Borduar village in pursuance of our honorable MLA, Mr. Wangling Luangdong. There's a series of 14 Namghars has planned to build up in different villages of Tirap district so far. So I request all of you to your kind attention and cooperation for all this development, and I think your all of you will help us. So I wished for all this program get successful. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gulab Bora sir. Thank you for your valuable speech. Now I invite Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Borkakoti for his valuable speech on Nocte Assamese spiritual relationship. Before his speech, I want to introduce him. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Borkakoti, a prolific author, has written over 60 books spanning diverse topics, including education, culture, development issues, literary criticism, and philosophy. As the president of the Society for Srimanta Sankaradeva, he is dedicated to preserving and promoting Srimanta Sankaradevas legacy. He serves as an expert member on the ICICH and ICTC and contributes his expertise as a desk reviewer for World Heritage nomination those years submitted to UNESCO. He is also an esteemed member of the Delphic International Council, actively championing global art and culture. Sir, we would like to invite you for your speech.
Thank you, Gitanjali. I'd request Arushi to present my PPT, to share my PPT.
Yes, sir. Please.
Make a slideshow. As already spoken about by Ottadikar Gajan Mahanta and Gulab Bora, Assam has a long history of spiritual relationship with Nocte people. And initially, I'd speak a little about the Nocte people in brief, though Vinita has already said a lot. They're mostly inhabiting the Tirap and Changlang districts. In 2011 census, their population turned out to be 111,679. And the word Nocte means village people. So they're basically dwellers in villages. Nocte villages are ruled by chiefs known as Ang. His council is called Nuang Wang. And the chief consults the trusted families called Lowang. The Nocte kingdom of Narottam, about whom I'll speak later, was later divided into 4 parts: Namsang, Borduar, Laptang, and Paniduar. The next slide. The traditional spiritual belief of Noctes are like this. They believe in animism. The traditional belief was animism, which considers the natural forces as entities to be worshipped. They believe in supernatural spirits and deities. So sun, moon, water, lightning, storm, cloud, etc. are deities for them. In this belief system, there are both malevolent and benevolent spirits. There is a tradition of middleman in the animistic rituals. The Nocte people are traditionally respectful of spiritual entities, so they try to appease the entities. In the process, the ritual developed. You have already seen one ritual, how the villagers pray to God while they leave the village border. The Nocte people believe in an omnipresent, omniscient God who lives in the sky. That is a very important point. I'll talk about more later. They believe that malevolent spirits bringing a disease, etc., have to be appeased. They worship good spirit like Kalika to control the bad spirits. So the animism in Nocte traditional spiritual belief had a lot of interesting elements, and some of them help in the transition to Vaishnavism, which I will explain later on. The next slide. The new belief system has grown over time. The Nocte tribe started following organized religions. In 18th century, some of them adopted Vaishnavism, mostly Srimanta Sankaradeva Ekasarna Namdharma. Some of them became Buddhist, and in Buddhism there are many sub-orders, and the popular order among the Nocte is the Theravada Buddhism. The belief in an omnipresent, omniscient God, which I talked about earlier, they they believe in an omnipresent, omniscient God even in their animism. So that helped in the transition to Vaishnavism, for which it is the main point. In Vaishnavism of Srimanta Sankaradeva, one all-powerful, almighty God is only worshipped, who is Lord Krishna. That Ekasarana Namdharma believes in one supreme entity, Lord Krishna, who is omnipresent, omniscient, an entity both attributeful and attributeless at the same time. This was uniqueness of Srimanta Sankaradeva. So, in spite of animism, Nocte's spiritual belief could easily assimilate with Ekasarana Namdharma because they found similarity of their belief in the Srimanta Sankaradevas Vaishnavism. In 20th century, Christianity entered Nocte society in a very big way. In 1993, Mother Teresa inaugurated the first Catholic church in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, majority of the Nocte people are Christian. At one time, 50,000 Nocte people belonged to Ekasarana Namdharma order, according to the previous Satradikar of Sasani Soliha Baragar Satra. As of now, 44% of Nocte people are Christian, 23% are Hindu, mostly Vaishnavite, and 17% are animism believers. The rest divided among different religions. The next slide. Here you can see the imaginary portrait of one Nocte chief whose name was Lotha Kunbao. He saw his preceptor of previous birth in dream, and he came in search of that preceptor. He met Sri Ram, the Satradikar of Saliha Baragar Satra at Merville near Naharkatiya, and decided that Sri Ram was his preceptor of previous birth. He took initiation in Ekasarana Namdharma of Srimanta Sankaradeva from Sri Ram. Thereafter, he became known as Narottam. That means the best among the men. This led to gradual initiation of the Nocte people in the Vaishnava religion of Srimanta Sankaradeva. Even now, many Nocte people regularly visit the Saliha Baragar Satra. Even last month, about 30 Nocte persons took initiation in this Satra. Next slide. Here you can see the premises of Saliha Baragar Satra of Merville. In the forefront, you see the entrance gate known as a Batsara, and inside that is the Kirtanghar. It was then half complete under construction. The Nocte people keep visiting this place regularly to pay homage to the Satradikar. Even those Nocte who have embraced Christianity, they also have very cordial relationship with the Satra. I have personally met many of them during my visit to the Satra. The next slide. The altar of Saliha Baragar Satra is shown in the picture here. Ekasarana Namdharma or Srimanta Sankaradeva was preached by Satradikar Sri Ram, who initiated Narottam. The altar in the worshipping hall, Kirtanghar, signifies the worship of attributeless supreme entity who controls all our 28 organs. It's very symbolic. No idol is kept there in the altar. It is symbolic of worship of the attributeless supreme entity, which is very akin to what the Nocte people used to believe in their animism, also in an almighty, omnipresent God. The next slide. The transition to Vaishnavism. Ekasarna Namdharma believes in omnipresent, omniscient entity, just like animism of the Nocte people, as I said. The transition of Nocte people from animism to Vaishnavism of Srimanta Sankaradeva was therefore not difficult due to this essential similarity. The adjustment of previous animistic belief in omnipresent, omniscient entity to Vaishnavite belief became possible for the Nocte people as Srimanta Sankaradeva had amalgamated the parts of knowledge and parts of devotion, the two parallel orders in Indian philosophy, which are known as Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga. In Indian philosophy, Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga are considered to be two parallel orders which do not compromise with each other. But the very interesting feature of Srimanta Sankaradeva is that he brought these two parallel streams together. And that is reflected here also. For Srimanta Sankaradeva, Krishna is both Nirguna and Saguna. One can accept Krishna in both ways. He equates Krishna with a Brahma, while the incarnation Krishna is also worshipped in his order. The egalitarianism of Ekasarna Namdharma went well with the tribal community life, for which the Nocte people felt at home in this order. The next slide. As I said, egalitarianism is a unique feature of Ekasarna Namdharma. Everyone is equal. There's no difference between male and female in the worshipping hall. All this endeared it to the Nocte people. They felt at home in this order. This particular picture is from Borduar Than, the first Kirtan Ghar established by Srimanta Sankaradeva in 1468 AD. The next slide. The respect by the Nocte people for Ekasarna Namdharma and the Saliha Bareghar Satra continues till today, even though some of them have embraced other beliefs. When the entry gate of Saliha Bareghar Satra was inaugurated on 14th May 2023, the leading Nocte people conversed at Emerville. The photo shows them at the time of inauguration, along with the Satradikar and myself. The next slide. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your valuable speech and so many informations. Now, I would like to invite Wangtum H. Lowang for his speech. His topic is Contribution of the Nocte to Indian Freedom Struggle. Before his speech, I would like to introduce him. Sri Wangtum H. Lowang is the director of Nocte Digest and platform dedicated to the document in the rich history and culture of the Nocte tribe. He is also the author of two research books, The Native Tea 2022 and Miles Bronson and Noctes 2023. Currently, he is serving as a guest assistant professor in economics at Wangcha Rajkumar Government College, Deomali. Now we invite you for your speech.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. First of all, I would like to appreciate all the organizers for conducting this international webinar on the Nocte tribe and its relationship with the Assamese or Ahom people since time immemorial. So my name is Lowang, and I will be speaking on the contributions of the Nocte tribe to the Indian freedom struggle. First of all, I would like to clarify some things. In September 2021, the government of Arunachal Pradesh, they formed a committee known as the Unsung Heroes of Arunachal Pradesh, where the members were tasked to find out all the instances of freedom movement in terms of protest, violence, or resist any kind of resistance against the British colonial rule of every tribes of Arunachal Pradesh. So I was a member there. So in my research, I found 2 instances of Nocte resistances against the British rule. So the first I will be speaking on is the Anglo-Nocte War of 1842. So I will share my screen now. The first war, that is the first Anglo-Nocte War of 1842, it occurred on November 25, 1842, and it lasted till December 29, 1842. And from the Nocte side, the chief of Kheti village, that is Lowang, he was the leader there. And on the British East India Company side, there were 3 commanders, that is Captain J. Brodie, who was the political agent of Sibsagar, Assam, and then Captain S.F. Hene, who was the commander of Assam Light Infantry, and then Lieutenant Rowlatt, the commander of 2nd Subandis. Subandis, it was a term for the Indian infantry, the British infantry that recruited Indian people. And lastly, it was Lieutenant Reed, who was the commander of the local artillery company. So moving on. So one of the major causes, it was like, as you can see, in the pretext of quelling inter-tribal feuds, the forces of British East India Company commenced marching towards Kheti village on November 21, 1842. So as all of you know that the British wanted to poke their nose in every matter that was not their business. So it was an excuse to enter our area. So, however, their main intention was to conduct preliminary survey of the land, especially of Kheti and neighboring villages, because it shared border with the Myanmar. Okay. And at that time, it was rumored that after being defeated in the Anglo-Thai Khamti War of 1839, the Thai Khamti and the Singpho tribe of Arunachal Pradesh had joined their forces with Myanmar to commence the Third Anglo-Burmese War. So you may know that the Second Burmese War, it occurred in 1826, after which the Britishers, they took control of Assam, practically of the lower Assam. And by 1839, the Britishers took control of Upper Assam also. So therefore, on November 25, when the Britishers marched towards Kheti village, the villagers, they responded with a shower of spears and arrows. And at that time, they killed 2 British soldiers and wounded 4 soldiers. Fortunately, there were no casualties incurred by the Noctes, and the Britishers had to retreat to their camp, that is the Khela village. So there is one interesting story there. So the 2 British soldiers that were killed, they were Indians only. Okay, they were the sepoys. So what happened there? There's one oral like saying within the Kheti people that kokeo be, there's one term. So now we came to realize that kokeo be might have mean that kokai bhai. Okay, it means in Assamese, my brother, or like we are friends. So maybe like when they were killing, they were attacking the British soldiers, they shouted that we were friends, we were like that. So there's one interesting analogy or phrase in our among us. So after the Britishers were attacked and two of their soldiers were killed, they started to launch punitive expeditions, and that started after a month, that is December 12, 1842. So in the punitive expedition, Captain Brody, he approached three more regiments, that is I've already mentioned, commander of Assam Light Infantry, commander of the 2nd Subandis, and they also brought the local artillery company. That means they brought cannon. Okay. There are like around 20 to 30 cannon balls still there in the village. It has been spread in numerous fields, and the like process is being made. Attempts are being made to recover all of them. So after planning a proper military operation, the Britishers approached Kheti village on 22, and once again the Nocte people, they like attacked the Britishers, but however the Britishers were prepared this time and they did not face any casualties. So the Britishers, they launched a punitive expedition against the Khete people, the Nocte people, for the next 5 days. So there was one, what do you say, a scorched earth policy that we used to follow. That means that when we are retreating, we didn't leave anything for the enemy. We used to burn our houses. We used to Myanmar or the neighboring villages, and in the process, they also burned their village also. So the, what to say, the punitive expedition, it lasted for 6 days, and it ended on December 29, 1842. So this is one of the instances of Anglo-Nocte War, or resistance against the British rule by the Nocte people. Secondly, I would like to talk about is the Anglo-Nocte proxy war of 1875. So before indulging this, I would like to mention a small history. So when the British, so when the British crown, the British, the royal family, they ended the monopoly that was enjoyed by the British East India Company in China. The British East India Company, they wanted to open a new market, new tea market in India, that is Assam. Okay, so they came to Assam and they planted the Chinese tea species. But because of the Assam heat or the weather condition, the Chinese species was not growing in India, in Assam. So they began to search for local species of tea. So in the search process, they first stumbled upon the Singpho tribe, and after that they came to us. That is the Noctes. So in October 1834, Charles Alexander Bruce, they approached the chiefs of the Noctes, and they opened up two commercial tea gardens. It is now known as Namsang Tea Estate, and another one was Kukanjuri Tea Estate. So in October 1834, they opened these two gardens, and they used to pay annual tax to the Nocte chiefs. So at that time, there was no Nocte. I mean, Nocte was divided. It was being like two major villages, that is Namsang and Borduar. They used to control these two gardens. So the Britishers used to pay annual tax to both of the chiefs. Okay. So as time went on, in 1860, the Britishers stopped paying the annual tax to the chief of Borduar. Okay. So after that, time went on. Then after 14 years, in 1874, the administration of Assam was severed from West Bengal. And the first chief commissioner of Assam, that was, I think, Colonel Kientich. I'm sorry, the pronunciation may not be right. So the first chief commissioner of Assam, he decided that he will totally cut off the chief of Borduar from the yearly payment. So this news did not end well with the chief of Borduar, whose name was Wangman Lowang. So
Sir,
what he did
sorry
was,
to disturb you. Do we need to
yeah.
shift the slide, sir?
Okay, no, it's okay.
Okay,
I will
thank you.
just yeah.
Sorry.
So what to say? Yeah. So in the last months of 1874, the Chief Commissioner of Assam, he issued an order saying that no payment should go to the chief of Borduar, that is Wangman Lowang. So at that time, the chief of Borduar, he knew that it was not possible to fight the Britishers. So he waited for the opportunity to exact his revenge. So after a few months, after 4 or 5 months, that is you can see in the screen, that is February to 1875. A British team of 200 people, including soldiers, porters, and also the commanders, lieutenants, and captain, they marched towards Longding. That is inhabited majorly by the Wancho people. So when they reached there, the chief of Borduar, the chief of the Nocte chief, he saw an opportunity. So he instructed, or you can say orchestrated the attack. He orchestrated the attack against the Britishers. So he convinced the Wanchos to wage his war against the Britishers by putting forward three conditions. Okay, and that is the three conditions are this one. The first was that the Nocte chief, he told the Wancho people, the people of Ninu village, that he will stop the supply of salt to their area. Second was that he would block all their trade routes to Assam. And the third one was he directly threatened that if the Wancho people do not attack the Britishers, then he will wage war against them. So because of these three reasons, the Wanchos of Ninu village and other neighboring villages, they combined their forces and attacked the British survey team that was under Lieutenant Holcombe and Captain Bashley. And in the attack, Lieutenant Holcombe was killed. So obviously, the Wancho people, they bravely fought against the British people, and they killed 80 British people, and it is now being said to be the Anglo-Wancho War of 1875. It is being recognized now. If you can go to our Unsung Hero website, and you can see here also. Okay, so after this, the Britishers started to investigate. They started to launch punitive expeditions against the Wanchos, and in this process, they found out that the main culprit, the main person to incite the Wanchos to attack them was Wangman Lowang, the Nocte chief of Borduar village. But the Britishers, they wrote that because of the lack of any physical evidence, they could not launch direct military operation against Borduar village. So therefore, they punished the Noctes in indirect way. The first was that the chief of Borduar, he was tasked to collect all the weapons, all the equipments that were lost in the attack, to retrieve them and then submit it to the nearest British office. And second was the chief was tasked to capture all the main fugitives, so to speak, the main freedom fighters of the Wancho people who were involved in the attack. So in this way, the Britishers, they passively punished us. So like that. So my appeal here is that these two instances of Nocte resistance against the Britishers may be recognized, and I'm also doing my best to get them approved by the government. So I hope that with this stage, I'm able to convey my message to all of you. And ICOMOS, as I've read about it, that they they detect historical sites, and maybe they can come to our place and recognize identify our battlefields and declare them as freedom fighters. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for more informations and your speech. Now I invite coordinator of NSC, ICH and CT for a question and answer session.
Kindly unshare the presentation.
Thank you very much. I could Definitely, I have not seen the northeast part, but Dilip ji, your beautiful speaker, Sanjeev ji, you people have done a good job. Geetanjali has done a beautiful connecting the dots, I would say. So I remember Dr. Vinita, she talked about, she started the introduction of the Nocte tribe, and basically she talked about those, the salt springs. It's very unique. And I remember Dilip ji also connected with the western part of the world, how they are already the World Heritage, established as World Heritage Site, and, we can join the queue. And then I remember we also got to know a lot of other intangible aspects where we, listen to some beautiful prayers. Honestly speaking, I could not understand, not being from your region, but yes, our heart connects that, we are speaking the same language of love, peace, and, the universal brotherhood. So that's very interesting. I also made note of Dr. Tashi's statements. He talked about the beauty of, he's talking about the transcendental character of our history, and then, how he connected the, different strings together along with the Golab Buraji, and where Dr. Sanjeev Borkakoti also talked about the Srimant Sankaradeva, and, the intangible heritage part of the, the place of worship for different communities coming together. I mean, it was, honestly speaking, in one session, you could put so much. It's unbelievable for me. For the last speaker, I congratulate him. He gave me so much of information that, honestly speaking, I didn't know about the unsung heroes, which he talked about. What happened that we are all taught that 1857, we started, you can say the first freedom fight. But there is another episode from the Vellore Fort when you go there, and then you learn about it going to the museum. Another episode I learned from this session today through Pangtumji about, he's talking about 1860s and 1870s where, the locals of Arunachal Pradesh waged the war. So it has been great learning. And I would say that, whenever we talk about the tourism, promoting tourism, I know that one of the scholars in the team is already with the ecotourism idea. So I say that we also have to just think about the sustainable destination management before just going for a full-fledged tourism idea. So thank you very much for the valuable time and opportunity for us to collaborate. Thank you, Dilip ji, Sanjeev ji, and all the ICOMOS and non-ICOMOS scholars.
Anyone from the viewers?
Hi, my name is Arijit. I am not an ICOMOS member, but I came across the advertisement on the local newspaper. So whoever initiated that, I am like very thankful for that. And today's session was like really helpful. I am personally a fiction writer on the historical aspects of Northeast India prior to the Ahom rule. And a subject that has not been like, well rehearsed across the literary fields. But like talking to, like hearing Dr. Vinita's presentation, Dr. Sanjeev as well as Wangtum's, it has been just brilliant. So I thank ICOMOS and Dilip ji as well for this arrangement. I have two quick questions though. How do we get in touch with the members here? Like, for example, Dr. Vinita, Dr. Sanjeev, and Wangtum. I mean, is there a way of getting in touch, like through email, correspondence, or anything? Please do let us know in the chats. That'd be like really helpful. And to Dr. Vinita, I have one question. It's about the black salt that you talked about. In Arunachal, there among the collaborated Tani tribes, that is the Apatani tribe in particular, they had a concept of black salt, but that was a very vegetated salt. It was made from vegetative elements, and that was actually called the black salt. And the ones that usually was evaporated from the salt springs, or in the Tibetan area where the salt lakes were evaporated and produced, that rather had a white form of salt. So is there any particular attribute in the Nocte salt that made it called as black salt?
Thank you so much, Arijit, for your question. Actually, the final product of this locally manufactured salt, the color of the salt appears like a little bit brownish and black. And it's not like the white salt that we procure from the market at the moment, because right now we get the salt in a very polished manner. But the traditional, way of making the salt was very original. You can say that it is boiled in a bamboo tube, which itself is a natural element, right? Bamboo tube, it is actually bamboo. After constant heating, and also I haven't talked about the process in detail. Like before collecting the water, what they do, they burn some of the, they collect bamboo sticks together they tie it in a bundle, and they burn one end of it, and the burned end is put at the source of the spring. So that's that is a way of filtering the particles, and the other end is put at the in the mouth of the well. So the brine water gets filtered, and it is through such process, the color automatically gets impacted. And when they heat it continuously, you can see that it is the fire actually. They are continuously feeding the fire with stake and bamboo, etc. So maybe the after product is like this. The color is not white. In fact, I also have a little bit of it given to me by my grandmother, who is no more. So it is brownish black in color, and the salt wells were very there in the Patkai Hills, from the border of the Nagaland to the border of the Assam Tirap border. So those were the wells where they used to manufacture local salt, which was considered as the black gold. It was nicknamed black gold. And entire Northeast region dependent on the supply of this salt from the Patkai Hills, from the Naga people. That's why it is the black gold. Because later on, when we started getting the salt, factory manufactured salt from the Bengal region, it is absolutely white in color. So there is this basic color difference. I hope I could answer your question.
Thank you so much, Vinita, Dr. Vinita.
Thank you, Arijit. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any more questions from viewers?
I had a question for the first speaker, Dr. Vinita. Could you just tell us the size of two things? One, you showed a statue, and then another you showed like it looked like a, very similar to Mughal fountain. So you called it, I think it was a bath or something, yeah?
Madhuji, are you referring to the stone stone throne?
Yeah, stone throne. Yeah, yes, it looks like a stone throne. Bath. Yeah,
yeah. This is actually made of one concrete rock, and it was carved out of a rock, and a floral design was curved on it, and it was mainly made for the Chaufa, the chief of the chiefs. We call Lowang Dong. Okay, so. It was built around 16th to 17th century, although I cannot provide you the exact date when it was actually carved and installed there. But it is a very unique legacy of the Nocte people. Yeah. And what was your next question?
The diameter of it, yeah.
Okay, like you were talking about diameter, it's exactly, I haven't measured the diameter, but it is a huge one.
Okay.
And I also referred to, I forgot to mention about the circumference of the salt wells also. So it comes to around the circumference comes to around 6 feet to 9 feet at different places, and the depth, a hollow timber or a man-made hollow timber is inserted vertically on the ground so that the brine water gets deposited in it. And the depth of the well, is around 20 to 24 feet.
Wow.
So this is what we had found.
Wow, that's interesting.
Ma'am, is it worship for the daily basis or any festival related?
No, see, earlier it was a place of great importance because because people were totally dependent on, on those salt springs for their personal consumption, also for the trading purpose. But now, since these salt springs are ignored, or you can say that it is not in a very good condition now. But if I refer to my own maternal hometown, I can say that annually, when they conduct the annual ritual, village ritual, Assam, though they make it mandatory for the village youth to go to the salt spring site and clean up the area. But it is not a kind of maintenance on regular basis. So you can see how much, deteriorating it is now. It is destroyed by animals. It is also not taken care of by people now. So it is there. These springs are still there, but not in a usable condition, we can say.
Can the government help to restore these springs and marketing?
Yeah, that's our concern. Like, if government takes initiative, or if some NGO, or if the government highlight on this rich traditional heritage of the tribe, maybe we can do something to restore it once again. Because we know that white salt is plentifully available, but we cannot forget the value of this traditional mad salt too. So if some agencies are there which restore this traditional system, and if we start selling it as a local, because now this slogan vocal for local is also going on so strongly. So if we can still produce this black salt and sell it in the market, so I think it will be accepted, because it is a very rare thing that we will be getting, a very organic, a very rare, locally manufactured salt. And the elder folks say that it has great medicinal property. It is used for gastritis. It is also used as an for cuts and wounds, to clean up the cuts and wounds. And they say that you can use, especially in the villages, people still use the salt water because they cannot get the medicine so easily in the interior areas. They still use it, actually. So I think if initiative is taken from any agency, it can be brought into practice once again, considering it is a very important heritage of the tribe.
I saw Mr. Ajit Patwari. Are you have any question? Ajit Patwari.
Hello, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Ajit Patwari again.
Sir, I'm Tashi. Can I ask a question?
Oh, yes. You ask.
I would like to ask Wangpuk, sir. The resistance of Nocte community to colonial intervention. I want to, regarding this, I would like to ask whether there existed the resistance, the theater of resistance, going beyond the present day border between Myanmar and India. Because at that time, even Myanmar was brought under British colonial rule. So did Nocte people had some interaction or collaboration or something to do with people across present-day Myanmar border regarding while resisting the British colonial intervention?
Okay, thank you, Tasi, for the question. So, like the Noctes, they have migrated from various places of Myanmar. So we have connection, we have relations with them since the beginning. So the resistance that we are talking, that is of 1842, there were suspicions that the Noctes may have joined with the Myanmar people to start the Third Anglo-Burmese War. So, but this was not a valid rumor. But they also found out that the Khamti people, not the Khamti, sorry, the Singpho people, they were building a road from their territory to reach Myanmar through the Laju area in Tirap district. Okay, So their investigation, they found out that the Singphos were actually trying to, convince the people of Laju area and the people of Baka. I think Baka is Waka. Okay, Waka of now present Longding district. That to convince them to join the Singpho people against the Britishers. So there was no direct relation with the Myanmar people in regard to the Nocte resistance. I hope
Thank you,
I've
sir.
answered your question. Yeah. Allow me, I would like to share something regarding the salt. One small article.
We have 5 minutes only.
Okay. I will take on. Yeah, thank you. I've written a book on Miles Bronson. So Miles Bronson, I hope you can see it. I hope it's not too small, the writings. So Miles Bronson was a Baptist missionary who came to live with the Noctes from January 1839 till I think October 1840. So when he was here, he made one account on how we used to make salt. So there is one small article. I will read it to you. If you can see, you can take this screenshot. He wrote, at 1 o'clock, reached one of the salt springs, walked by the Nagas. Nagas, it means Nocte. The water was drawn from deep wells by a bucket of leaves and poured into large wooden troughs nearby for the purpose of boiling. Their mode of boiling is rude, and to one who had not seen it, would appear to be perfectly impracticable. They built a long arch of stone and clay. On the top, single joints of bamboos, cut thin and spread open like a boat, are placed closely together. These hold from 2 to 3 quarts each. These boats are kept full of the brine, and a large fire kept blazing under them, without injury to the bamboo. On this arch, I counted 60 boats, which they said would give, when boiled away, 20 or 25 boats of salt for the market. Thus, their ingenuity has made them quite independent of the expensive furniture at our own salt works. One man attend to the arch, one man to bring the brine, 4 to gather wood, are all that is necessary to complete the establishment. So there's one small article written by Miles Bronson on how we used to prepare salt in 1839. So I hope it will help Vinita ma'am also, Dr. Vinita ma'am. Thank you.
Any observation from our ICOMOS side? Can we invite Rimaji for her observation? Your observation?
नहीं, I have been listening बहुत intently मैं सुन रही हूँ, because you have taken such a range from freedom fighters, against colonialism, from making salt, from the satras, from the changes which have come. In fact, I didn't know about the religious, the percentages which are the situation now, and were obviously not the situation even 75 years ago. So again, you have asked that we need to follow up on where possible, and definitely by doing this webinar, you have recorded it. Let me come back to this. That there are so many aspects of our past. I remember my certain type of wheat and a certain type of rice, and the Green Revolution had happened. And he said that there was a part of Rajasthan where he said they used to have a small variety of pinkish rice, very locally grown. It's not a rice growing area. But you talked about, one of our revered speakers talked about the changes which came when tea plantations were, artificial importation in a sense, which didn't take in our climate. But so much has happened in the past that we definitely need to keep in our minds and talk about it. Now, admittedly, we cannot memorize everything, which is why we need the experts that we've had today. No single human brain, for that matter, at this point, even artificial intelligence, cannot take in all the information there is in the world. So this has been a great afternoon. I'm looking forward to the other webinars, which will be happening very soon. And for everyone, our writer friend who writes on fiction, pre-Ahom fiction, would love to see what you've written. But please do join in whenever you hear about anything to do with ICOMOS. If it's closed door, somebody will tell you it's closed door. Most of our things are not closed door, I think, other than our annual meetings. Am I right, Madhuji? I can see you nodding there. So thank you all for joining in, but we have to thank each other because we are all part of the same thing. We are part of the same cause. We are part of the same land. We are part of, you might, it's rained here today, so I think I'm nearer to the northeast climatically than Jaipur would normally be. It's nice and overcast and wet. Normally it would be hot. So thank you for having me here. Thank you for organizing this Northeast Zone. Dilip Da, thank you very much, all of you. And bye from me, but I'll listen till the end.
Thank you, Imaji.
Thank you so much. Then we are going to end.
Yes.
Dilipda, we have to connect the dots with the Northeast Ministry also, because these things are very invaluable, and I believe that waiting for even few months will also be, we are already paying price for development, I would say. So we should take it on an urgent basis.
Okay. We'll arrange it. Then now going to end our vote of thanks.
ICH icon deliver speech, Munish Pandit.
Munish Pandit does not, Munish Pandit absent.
I don't think he's joined.
Okay, now vote of thanks.
Yes. Now we thank from
by
me.
Yes,
from ICOMOS India, Northeast Zone, we thanks all the viewers and the participants in Zoom and also in Facebook Live also, and for our foreign members who want their links. They want the link because of the time gaps, if they could not participate here, and they want the links. We share the links of Facebook today to them, so that they can enjoy this webinar. Then we thanks our resource person, Satadikar Mohanta, and our Gulab Bora. Then we thanks Vinita Daura, and thanks Mr. Tasi, principal of Mondila College, and Mr. Wantam, who have coordinated with us, and they gave their works in timely so that we can share it properly. And we thanks our ICICS members who have given me lots of suggestions. We thank the 2 associate member and 2 expert member and guru member of ICTC who have given us lots of suggestions and lots of help about the this webinar, how we can done it and how can reflect as a cultural tourism sector in this area. And we thanks all of that, and we again invite you our next webinar will be held at 5 p.m. On that is 10th November, and where the Haifa University of Israel and the Queen's University of Ireland join with us. The Botaboli language. Come and enjoy our Unfold Northeast Zone series. Please come and enjoy it. And I want you to join ICOMOS and step with us so that we can progress and we can alert, we can and safeguard our heritage, we can sustain our heritage. Thank you again.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Now for the declaration of end. Thank you.
Thank you
Very much
all.
enjoying.
Thank you.